Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the first episode of Quranology Notes or QG Notes, a series in the new YouTube channel of Quranology Institute. Today I'd like to share with you a very positive experience I had being part of a book project along with two luminary scholars of Quran, Abdul Rabb and Siraj Islam. This book project was the brainchild of Abdul Rabb, whom many of you will remember as the author of the book exploring the Quran in a new light, the case for a Quran-only understanding. And that book was a landmark book when it came out. I mean, it was celebrated in the Quranist world. So Abdul Rabb, he came up with a new idea called Towards a Quranic Understanding of the Divine. Towards a Quranic Understanding of the Divine. The first thing we should note is that the title includes the word towards. Why does it say towards? Because we are on a never-ending journey to understanding the concept of the divine in Quran. Quran is an ocean of knowledge, and for us to say, okay, well, this is the concept, that would be very presumptuous, because there is no way we could cover it even in an encyclopedia, let alone a small book. So we say towards, and we say towards a Quranic understanding. This is our version of that understanding. It is not the understanding. There are no absolutes here. What we have is we have an offering of what we understand to be the Quranic understanding of the divine. And Abdul Rabb, he made a masterful breakdown of the study. The first, allow me to find that for you. Right, he broke it down into 5 different chapters, and I will tell you the chapter headings as per my contribution. So each chapter will have Abdul Rabb's contribution, Siraj's contribution, and my own. And for me, I employ a strategy, a reading strategy called Qira'ah Wujudiyah, or the existential reading. That is to understand Quran as per 3 factors of existence. The existence of the author, Allah. The existence of the reader, you, me, and whoever reads Quran. And the existence of the text itself, which is Quran. So when we bring together these 3 factors of existence, we may come to the authentic meaning. If we get there, that is. I mean, I'm not saying I have it, but that is how I think we can arrive at the correct meaning. So in the 5 chapters, the first chapter is seeking to know God, meeting God by actualizing oneself. That's my contribution. Quran has a concept called liqa Allah, or meeting Allah, and it is inextricably linked with understanding Quran as clarification, ayatuna bayinat, clarifying signs. If you look at chapter 10 verse 15, Allah links the two. So when we understand Quran as ayatun bayinat, and it gives us the meeting with Allah, therefore we can achieve that evolution of the self, which is the purpose of Quran. The second topic is the process of acquiring belief and certainty. You see, Quran is not a confessional book. It doesn't have a topic, Tawheed, and Allah is one, He is beyond space-time. No, Quran does not have that. Rather, it has a process through which whoever follows that process can achieve measuring levels of iman, conviction, and every stage has its own yaqeen, or certainty. When that person achieves that certainty, he will then be able to proceed to the next level. So this is, I show examples in that chapter. So hopefully, that can be clarified. The third chapter is Tawheed, as a means of authentic existence. Now once again, Quran doesn't tell you, okay, well, remove some statues, remove some pictures, and you're worshipping one God. No. Tawheed, or monotheism, the worship of Allah alone, this comes through a process of self-actualization by removing the various false gods in Quran. Now for this, I must mention Mr. Muhammad Sheikh of the IIPC. He has been instrumental for me to come to understand this concept. The fourth chapter is the existential dynamic between free will and fatalism. Now once again, free will and fatalism has had a long conceptual discussion in the Islamic tradition. But in the existential reading, I don't feel as if logic can solve the problem. I feel our experience can solve it. So what we do is we enter into various phases in our lives and we exercise our free will and see Allah's response. That is how I understand free will and fatalism as a dynamic. And the final chapter, which I must say was the most challenging and thus rewarding chapter for me, is the essences of reality, understanding Allah's names or essences as a basis for existence. Now, as you know, in Quran Allah mentioned the Asma'ul Husna, the names or essences of Allah. Now these names and essences, if we come to understand them in the deepest way, we can see them as the building blocks of reality itself. And that is what I attempted to do in this chapter. And believe me, the complexity of how the names are explained, this is fantastic. I mean, I've never seen such depth before in terms of theology. So I hope that I'm able to show you glimpses of this at least. So with that, I close this video, the first episode of QG Notes. And I hope that you will be looking out for the book, inshallah, when it comes out, and obviously giving us your comments and criticisms. Many thanks for viewing this video, and I'll see you next time.